astronauts, this is Brandy and welcome back to AstroTarotResearch. So if you're wondering why I'm all dolled up today, it's because today is my birthday. That's right, today is my wonderful, beautiful birthday. That is if you're watching this the day that I'm posting it. Obviously, if you're watching another day, it's probably not my birthday still, though I do wish every day was my birthday. I'm sure a lot of people do. So because because of it's a wonderful time, I do want to give you guys another wonderful reading. So this week is dating your future spouse. So this is going to be the dating process with your future spouse up to the proposal. And if you would like to see the actual proposal itself, I do have that on my channel. Just head on to AstroTarotResearch, search that in the little YouTube search bar and search proposal with it, and it should pop right up there for you. And I think you'll enjoy that as well. So we have 7 piles. Before we get into that, I do also want to remind you, information for private readings can be found in the description box below. Just head on to my website, AstroTarotResearch.net. And if you would like a look ahead, that is a weekly tarot forecast, astrological forecast, all you do is have to head on over to my Instagram, Astro_Tarot_Research, and follow me there. I post every Friday or Saturday. And if you follow me, then you will be up to date on everything. Everything amazing going on there. Let's get into this reading. We have 7 piles, like I said a billion times. Pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, pile number 4, pile number 5, pile number 6, and pile number 7. So just sit back, relax, and choose, and we'll get started. So if you've chosen pile number 1, this is what dating your future spouse will be like. So I've pulled out a little piece of paper to give some sort of like astrological insight to sort of like the overall reputation of you guys as a couple. I'll get to that in a moment, but I just wanted to mention that. So this is what dating your future spouse will be like. We have the World card. So funny, I just got that like 2 days ago for something else. The Magician, the Queen of Wands, and the 8 of Swords. So super interesting. With the World card and the Magician, this lets me know this is going to be a pretty amazing relationship because we have something about endings and new beginnings here. So when we get that, it's kind of like saying we have this fresh start, this fresh take on things, okay? So for both of you, this relationship, this sort of dating phase is going to be like nothing you guys have ever encountered before. It's just going to be a whole different ball game in a sense. And with the World card here, usually the World card for me embodies just really positivity overall. I kind of feel like when you guys meet each other, there'll be this sense of like almost love at first sight. Now, I'm not even sure if I completely believe in love at first sight, but the World card coming up first kind of lets me know that they like really early on, you're going to feel like this person is at least has potential to be the one or go like long distance with or marry or, you know, something like that. Just something about this person. You guys will both see it in each other that you'll be like, okay, I can kind of see this going to like towards, you know, the end. Okay. Or like towards like, you know, this is not the end. I mean, it could be till death do you part, but like till like marriage basically is where you see it. You're like, I can see us sort of like maybe being compatible enough. So when it comes to sort of like overall dating your future spouse, there's definitely in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, because we have Saturn here and we have the Magician. In astrology, that's like these cards are associated with Saturn and this one's associated with Mercury. And so when Saturn and Mercury get together, there tends to be some struggles with communication. So I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's not surprising we do have the 8 of Swords here. And I was just about to say that when Saturn and Mercury come together, it's a restriction of communication. So it's so funny that astrologically and tarot-wise, things are basically saying the same thing, that there will be in the beginning some issues with communication. I think both of you will have some issues, maybe saying what's on your mind. You kind of feel like you don't want to mess things up, or you'll feel a little bit nervous, or you'll feel like maybe this person might judge you, or maybe you guys will feel like you don't want to hurt this person's feelings. Regardless of whatever it is, it's kind of like saying that you guys won't completely like just off the break open up. because you just feel a little bit nervous. Like you kind of feel like you don't want to ruin things. You feel like things can potentially go really well, and you feel like you might have found the person you can spend the rest of your life with. So like I said, in the issue, in the beginning, there may be some issues with misunderstanding or not quite completely knowing each other, or feeling like you guys are a little bit closed off and you can't open up. But over time, what happens when Saturn and Mercury gets together is like it creates very strong communication, because like Saturn is there to put things into practice and put work into things. So it's like you'll slowly both will slowly unravel and open up. Especially during the dating things. You know, some people off the bat, they just kind of open up, this is me, this is who I am, and jump into it. That's not you guys. You guys will take your time to sort of get to know each other. So I do think that you guys will be dating for quite some time before, you know, marriage even enters the picture. I just want to say that, okay? Especially when we have, you know, Saturn, like the World card here being like associated with Saturn, representing things being slow moving and not really, you know, they're not gonna happen overnight like that, or it can just be a lot of issues. So I just want to say, look out in the beginning for any sort of misunderstandings, and it'll be okay. Okay, I just want to say it's perfectly fine. Obviously, this person you guys are gonna marry, so it's gonna be okay. I just want to throw that out there. I do want to say, like, when it comes to how this person in particular will treat you, this person will definitely treat you very well, especially with the Eight of Swords here. Eight of Swords is somebody who's going to tiptoe around somebody a little bit. And when you sort of tiptoe around someone, or you want to do the nice thing, you're obviously treating somebody very well. I mean, you're not like blatantly open and honest, but at the same time, there is a positivity with the Eight of Swords, because you'll both be sort of looking out for each other, because you're like, okay, well, I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt this person, or I want to do things that make this person happy. So there is this sort of strong engagement, especially when we have 8 card energy, because when we have 8s, it's like being in the material world, especially with Saturn here. It's like saying that you guys are very, 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 very much in tune with each other, and trying to make sure that you guys spend a good amount of time together. Sorry, I just want to make sure that like my sound was on, because sometimes it just cuts off, okay? But like, it's basically saying that you both will sort of make sure that you guys are spending physical time together, okay? And I mean, like, talking to each other. It's not like we're on a date and somebody's looking at their phone. You're like, no, let's actually, you know, try to get to know each other. Let's have these conversations. Like I said, even if the conversations aren't completely open at first, it doesn't matter. You guys are making and putting in the effort to do so, especially when we have the Magician card here, being all about putting in your efforts and manifesting and gaining access to, I guess, whatever it is you want to gain access to. In this case, it would be a connection, right? So you guys are just feeling out each other in terms of a connection. So dating your future spouse is actually going to be a very interesting thing. I feel like this person is going to, you guys are just going to have a strong sort of intellectual bond. I don't know how else to say. Like, you guys will definitely stimulate each other mentally, and that's very exciting for you. It's so funny because I just wrote down random things. Like, I do this sometimes when I have readings, and I'll just write down things that come towards me for like readings on pieces of paper. Like, before I start, I just write this, write this, write this. And it's weird how sometimes these things sort of add up. So in this case, it would be kind of like, I wrote down intellectual, I wrote down stimulating conversations, and it's weird how and I wrote honest and open. Okay, so I wrote these things down because these are the words that came to me, and it sounds, I know, and it sounds weird, but like that it kind of fits. So it's like saying you guys will work on that honest and openness. You guys will eventually get to the place where you guys can pretty much talk about anything and everything, especially when we have the World and Magician card together. Like, you guys will be like completely, totally open. Yeah, it's rough at first, but when you guys get closer and towards like the engagement and proposal, you guys will have such strong communication skills. It's going to be amazing. And like I said, this relationship is very, like, you guys really bond over like the intellectual part of the relationship. I don't know how else to explain it. You know how some couples have like the very strong physical chemistry. Some couples may like connect over, like, let's say they're both into working out, or like some people connect over like a common interest. There will be some commonality in terms of interest and stuff, but it's like you guys will have strong conversations, smart conversations, deep conversations. You'll question things like societies, morals. You guys will talk about, you know, presidents, prime ministers. Like, you guys will just cover like every single topic you could possibly cover in the world. And for you guys, it's like saying it's interesting to see each other's point of view, because there is an element of humor to it as well. And there's also sort of like giving each other different perspectives, especially when we have the World card and the Magician. It's like saying I've been everywhere and anywhere, and I've experienced all these different cultures, and like, you guys are very cultured. That's the word I'm looking for. You guys are just a very like cultured couple. I don't know how else to say that. That's like the strongest thing. Like, you guys are like, you just have a lot of strong interests in common, okay? And then you have a way to put things in perspective that's very bonding for you guys. Obviously, like I said, with the, not like I said, but like I'm about to say, with the Queen of Wands energy here, there is a sexual connection, a strong one as well. I mean, I'm not going to get really graphic on that. But yeah, definitely, without a doubt, you guys are both attracted to each other in that way. And with the Queen of Wands here, what this lets me know is like throughout the stages of sort of dating each other, you guys will do your best to sort of keep up your appearances, because that's what the Queen of Wands does. She sort of brings this element of seduction to it. So there'll be plenty of, I don't know if you guys ever played The Sims, but in The Sims, like when they wanted to have like, I don't know, fun time, whatever, they would woohoo or whatever. So you guys will have plenty of woohoo time, whatever. But it's like saying, like, you guys are just, the dating period will definitely just seem like it flew by. But it's interesting because, like I said, I think you guys will be dating a while before you sort of like make that next step into being together and being like engaged and getting married. But it will be worth it, and you guys won't feel the need to like rush, okay? So in general, I forgot to say how this person will treat you, but in general, how this person will treat you is obviously they'll treat you like a queen, like or a king, or whatever gender you identify with. It's like saying that this person treats you with a lot of respect. They treat you like your opinion matters. Especially with this thing, you guys will definitely be sharing deep thoughts about your beliefs. So this person, there's a lot of listening involved, especially when we have the Eight of Swords here, because this person's not speaking and they're not like putting themselves out there. They kind of do a lot of listening, and this person will be listening a lot to you and really taking in what you have to say and your opinion, especially when we have the Queen of Wands here. You can expect sort of like an average day though. However, it's kind of like saying, you guys will sort of mainly be working towards your goals. There's a lot of motivating each other to go the distance, and a lot of motivating each other to achieve what you want to achieve in life. It's like the regular sort of interactions that you have with each other. You'll spend a lot of time with, you know, friends, people, each other's friends, I want to say, especially if somebody has, whoever has the more women friends or more female friends, that's the people you'll be spending the most time with. You'll be spending a lot of time with maybe even like social events, neighbors and stuff like that. It's a very small group because, like I said, we have the world energy, but it's a group that's like very I'll say very different than what you're used to. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there. It's not extreme, but it's just different than what you're used to. Oh my god, like this is so, I'm sorry guys, this is so crazy. Like I mean, because I'm getting like, I'm stuttering so much because I'm getting so many freaking messages and things that I want to say, but I'm not trying to like go into a 20-minute reading for Pal, but it's just saying throughout the dating period, to summarize, there'll be a lot of deep conversations, a lot of sharing of the beliefs. You guys will, as a couple, will motivate each other to concentrate on your goals. You'll spend most of your time with whoever has like the more female dominating friends. In the beginning, there'll be some issues with communication because both of you will feel like you don't want to mess things up. You don't want to open up because you both will see the potential for this to go long term. You'll be dating for quite some time before you get engaged or married. And they'll treat you with a great deal of respect and do a lot of listening to what you have to say and really take it in. And they'll really like admire not only your physicality, but your mind as well. Like I said, the physicality is there, so you will have that connection if you are concerned about that in any way. But like your average time together will definitely be through like discussing things with friends. With the World card here, it's very social. You guys aren't like kind of like in a small box to yourselves and just hanging out with each other. You guys know you guys will be very social, okay? And so I pulled out this card in particular. Not this card. I wrote down this information in particular, and what it says is Mars, and I wrote it down to represent the sort of reputation that you guys will sort of have as a couple. And when we have Mars here, we have someone being very like active, okay? It doesn't necessarily mean physically active, especially when we have these cards here. Not to say that you guys aren't physically active with the Queen of Wands here. I think in this case, because we have so much communication and intellectualism and ideas and manifesting, it's more to do with just being very out there, being very social, being very active, being very seen. Because Mars energy works in a way where it wants to focus on growing as an individual, which is what I said, like you guys will really focus on like achieving your goals and really push each other to do that. So you'll sort of be known as a very like, very sociable, very out there, very much putting yourself forward, very much being like hard working, especially when you have like Mars as a reputation. I'm not gonna lie, you just come off as a very ambitious couple, okay? So that's the main thing that I want to say. And that is all I have for you, pile number one. It was a lot. I did not expect to get so much, but thank you guys for listening to all my, you know, stuttering and whatnot. If you would like a private reading, that's in the description box, and au revoir for now, right? Okay, if you've chosen pile number two, let's get started on your readings. That was hard to say. We have the Magician. We got that for the first pile too, crazy. We have the Three of Wands. We have Strength. And we have the Two of Pentacles. And I pulled this card to sort of represent the sort of reputation you guys will have as a couple during this dating period. So when you guys are dating your spouse, very interesting. I was just telling pile number one how like before my readings, I like to write down little blips and blurs and things that come to me during the reading. And what I got here was like feeling a sense of strong desire and wanting to put yourself out there. So that comes to me with the Strength card, because the Strength card is sort of controlling a desire that they have. They're holding back on doing something. They're being patient and they're letting things sort of come together naturally, which is what I think that you guys will be doing. I think there'll be a lot of things that you guys want to rush into and jump ahead into in this relationship, because the connection will feel very instant. Almost similar to pile number one, but they were a little bit different in the sense that they were okay with taking their time, and it was just came naturally. For you guys kind of have to take that conscious decision to be like, okay, well, I mean, I really want to move in with this person. I really can see myself being with this person. I really think that we can go long term. I really see us, till death do us part. Let's just, jump into things. And then you have to be like, wait a minute. I mean, let's calm down. Like, we don't know each other that well. Let's actually take our time with things. So, sorry. So, when it comes to your sort of overall relationship, when I get the Three of Wands, I get an energy that represents having like success. I've never gotten the Three of Wands to represent things fumbling or falling apart. It's really just a waiting period, and especially when we have the Strength card here, another card to do with waiting. Like I said, you guys will really want to jump into this. Like you guys will really want to be like, who cares if we only been dating for a month, let's move in. Like there's this strong energy of just wanting to push forward and just go with things and just throw caution to the wind, okay? You just kind of feel like this is it, all right? But with the Two of Pentacles here, it's kind of like saying you are sort of battling with, is that like the practical thing to do? Does that make sense? How are we going to balance each other's lives out? And that's what's sort of like holding you back. The rational point of your mind versus like the very emotional, strong connection that you guys have. Also, I do want to say when we have the Two of Pentacles, oftentimes I get the Two of Pentacles to represent either a distance between two things, and if you guys don't share a physical distance, also since we have the Three of Wands, sometimes I get that for physical distance as well. So I do want to mention it's possible during the dating stages of your spouse that you guys do sort of at some point do some long distance thing, or it's possible, like I watch a lot of like 90 Day Fiance, and sometimes with them they have to communicate through a distance or online, or like another person's in a different country and it takes some time for them to get the visa to come over and get married, okay? So it's possible, and quite often they sort of rush the process too, but that's only because the United States sort of makes it in a way where you gotta rush things. So I'm just saying, like, you guys could be in a situation where your spouse is foreign and you have to go to them or they have to come to you. That is a possibility. Or it's kind of like saying that maybe you guys are met online and you live apart, or maybe you guys met in person but then someone moved, and it can also, it doesn't have to be like literal physical distance. Sometimes I get these cards that sort of represents the distance between you and someone culturally, or the distance between you and someone ethnically, or based off of value systems or something like that. Like just a different sort of upbringing, a different sort of mentality, a different sort of way of doing things, okay? It just kind of represents you and this person kind of being from like different worlds. So when it comes to dating, the whole progress will be sort of like combining both of your worlds into one, which is going to be a little bit of a confusing process for you guys, but you guys are very dedicated and very, what's the word? You're stubborn, and you want to make sure that this thing fits. You want to make sure that this thing works, and it will work. Obviously, you guys are going to get married. So, with the Magician here, like I said, with pile number one, there does seem to be a strong emphasis on having very solid communication between the two of you guys. And when we get the Magician here, it's kind of like saying the relationship has the potential to go anywhere you would like it to go, especially when it's next to the Three of Wands. Like if you guys want this to be a successful relationship, then this can be a successful relationship. If you guys want this to last like till the end of time, this can last to the end of time. It's whatever effort that you want to put into something, okay? Because that's that mercurial energy. And as I was saying, like I like to write down little things before reading, and I wrote down dedication for pile number two. So it's not surprising with the Strength card here. Whenever we have the Strength card here, we have a strong sense of dedication, protection, stability, making sure that you have this sort of almost solid foundation, or like you can't be pushed, like something, there's this rock-like energy that's saying, hey, I cannot be moved, okay? It's like trying to move a mountain here. So like you guys will have a very strong sense of dedication towards one another. So your everyday sort of like life when it comes to dating, you can definitely expect to possibly be traveling back and forth, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, like I said, literally like long distance, like you guys are like from different countries or states apart. It can just mean like you guys may both live in LA, but you live in like different parts of LA, and during rush hour, it's like takes 2 hours to get there. I know I live on the East Coast, so some people, let's say like I work in Baltimore, but like I live in Washington, D.C. So that would be like a 2-hour commute during like rush hour or something like that. So it's like saying that you guys will have to put in a lot of effort to commute with one another, especially when we have the Three of Wands here. The Three of Wands likes to plan and take their time. And it also represents effort and the ability to put your ideas out there in a way that makes sense if you've done the planning and you've been cautious and you've been smart about it, okay? It's just saying you gotta actually plan to like, okay, I'm gonna actually go and meet this person. It's not like you guys could just normally just pick up and get in your car and go. It's not going to be that simple. It's going to take a lot of patience and time to sort of like get to where you guys need to go, okay? I just want to say that. When we have the Magician card representing Mercury, and then we also have the Sun card energy, in a sense they are together, but the Sun and Mercury are often always together, and since we have this Three of Wands here, there's a little distance between them. So what I'm noticing here is when we have these cards, there is a emphasis on communicating your desires, okay? Communicating what exactly it is that you want. So I think that's gonna really, what's gonna draw you guys together is like you both will sort of be like, okay, well, I wanna go out and open up a bookstore. And that's like what I wanna do with my life, especially with the Three of Wands here. It's like, it's like one of my dream cards, and like saying, this is what I want to go do, this is what I'm putting my efforts in, this is what I'm doing to make my dreams come true. That's one of my cards for that with the Three of Wands there. So that's going to be a strong bond for you guys, being able to combine your dreams with one another, to share the things that make you feel confident and aspiration. I do want to say, when it comes to this relationship, you guys will both gain a boost of confidence when it comes to being with each other. And I think it's because there'll be a lot of different like compliments. Like this person would be like, you're really good at, starting your bookstore business, or you really look beautiful today, or you're really smart and talented, or you're someone who I think is very skilled. Oh my gosh, you're someone who's very hardworking. You're someone who knows how to use their words. You're great with speaking. You're great with talking to people. You're great with expressing yourself. It's like saying that you guys will very much compliment each other, like literally compliment each other. Like, and so because of this, it will really up your self-esteem, okay? Maybe you've been pushed down by other people. Maybe other people have sort of disregarded your strengths. Maybe other people have sort of looked over the things that make you special and talented. This person is going to come into your life and say, no, all those people are wrong. You're actually a really amazing person. So don't even bother with what those people have to say. Okay? So when it comes to like how you spend most of your time, like I said, you spend most of your time sort of both with each other and other people. It's like a really strong balance, okay? Especially with the Two of Pentacles here, which is a card about juggling balance, okay? It's like saying that you guys will both have very busy lives. And I only say you have busy lives because we have the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles, if you didn't have things, you wouldn't be busy. If you didn't have things to balance, or you wouldn't be trying to balance out things if you weren't busy. There we go. I got that sentence together. All right. So you wouldn't be trying to balance out things if you weren't busy. So you both will have pretty hectic schedules in the course of you guys dating. And that's because you guys are both encouraging each other to follow your dreams. And you both are being very complimentary in the sense. I do want to say that this person is a very like protective type of person. So there'll be a lot of that energy going on throughout the relationship. I don't get that they're jealous in a sense. They're just sort of like looking out for your best interests and anybody who might try to take advantage of you or treat you poorly, right? So I just want to mention those few things in regards to that, and how with the things that will change when it comes to sort of you guys coming together versus like you being separated and apart. It's kind of like you guys will be inspired and you'll feel connected and you'll feel like this ego boost in a way. So it's like maybe you guys are both very attractive, maybe you guys are both very talented, maybe you guys are both very smart. Whatever it is, it's like your partner's coming to your life to like give you, like to gas you up in a sense, okay? That is what this person is going to do. They're going to really create this help you create a strong sense of self, okay? And help you to understand your worth and your value. And you guys are going to be able to share those things with each other, okay? Bring together two cultures, bring together two ways of thinking, two backgrounds, whatever it is, to you guys are just coming together. And I think it's because you guys are sharing those different ideas and experiences that you realize that you and your experiences have value also, okay? Something about that. I just want to throw that out there in case you guys were like, what's going on? What is the relationship bringing to me? And this person is going to treat you pretty well. Like I said, this person is very protective of you. This person is somebody who's just very encouraging. Overall, a very skilled and talented person. When we have the Magician here, we have somebody who knows how to use their words and can be very, very charming. And then we have somebody who is obviously looking out for the big picture, but like I said, they may be from a different either ethnic background, cultural background, just like far away in distance. And you guys will be like I said, it's very busy throughout the relationship. It's not like a very slow paced energy. It's not dull. It's not like we're not doing anything. You guys have a lot of high paced energy going on. And so I wrote down this little blurb, like I said in the beginning, to sort of embody the reputation of the relationship. And we have Neptune here. And when we have Neptune here, we have like this higher version of Venus. And remember how I was talking about there's this sense of dedication and strong, like you guys communicating your desires. So when we have Neptune here, like I said, there's a strong sense of desire for each other, as well as desires for a stronger future. Neptune, in a sense, as a reputation for a couple, so I'm like connecting it to everything. Like I hate when my brain does this, but like let's just get to what I was trying to say. Neptune, in a sense, as a sort of couple, can bring a little bit of an unusual reputation. And I mean by that, it kind of makes you guys a little bit dreamy. It makes you guys seem like you guys are just, not you just are just like a certain way, but it makes you guys seem like very artsy, very romantic, almost like hipster vibes. Don't be literal. Some people are so literal when I say things. They're like, I'm not a hipster, and I'm like, calm down, no one called you a hipster. It's like saying almost like that. You see a certain people and there's a sense of idealism about them, a sense of creativity behind them. Like, let's say you guys were all artists and you were all like a group of artists who hung out or something like that, and people just kind of see you as a very like artistic group. Like when you were in high school and you saw like the drama club and you're like, okay, these are sort of like the unusual, maybe creative, quirky kind of people. And that is sort of like your reputation as a couple. And not only, especially with the Magician card here, the Magician card just sort of like somebody who has this sense of imagination about them. So a lot of people will think that you guys are very like romantic and idealistic and very, very creative. Okay, so it makes sense, especially when we have the two of coins. When we get the two of coins, the two of coins has a lot of issues to struggling to balance finances. So I'm not gonna lie that maybe one of you guys is not that great with finances. So, but that will grow within the relationship, especially when we have Strength card here. It's like saying that you guys are going to figure that out, and you guys are going to bring qualities to each other, which will help balance each other out. With Neptune here, it can also sort of give that reputation of being like very beautiful. Like you could just be like a beautiful looking couple, okay? Especially with Strength card here. And like I said, and I think the last reading, or the reading before last, where I was associating the Strength card with sort of like glamour and desirability and being like the person that's like shining and out there and people are just noticing them, okay? So there is that as well. So that is all I have for you, pile number 2. Feel free to subscribe, comment, etc., whatever you want to do, and I will see you next time. Au revoir. Pile number 3, I've been talking like a mile a minute. When I get inspired, I get inspired, right? So let's jump right into this reading on what dating your future spouse will be like. We have the 7 of Swords, we have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the 3 of Pentacles, and we have the 6 of Pentacles. Wow, a lot of earth sign energy. And then I have this little piece of paper to sort of represent what it will be like for you guys, like what your reputation will sort of be as like you guys are dating. So with the 7 of Swords here, embodying what dating your future spouse will be like, I'm not gonna lie, there may be a little bit of a time in your relationship where there's a little bit of a separation. And I only say that because anytime, well, half of the time that I've gotten a 7 of Swords, it embodies an energy of somebody sort of moving away from something, like avoiding an issue, having some time to themselves, feeling like they don't want to like be very close right now, or be very intimate, or be very like just connected in that sense, in a couple sense, okay? Or just be around people, okay? Like I've definitely gotten this card for, you know, people not coming to work or something like that, or people not showing up for events and etc. So I do want to point that out there. At some point there may be a little bit of separation, but don't worry, like this is your future spouse, so you guys aren't like gonna stay separated. So I do want to give you some qualities about this person. This person is obviously very practically minded and very dedicated and, you know, very consistent. So if you're a person who likes consistent behavior and doesn't like to jump around and do this and that and the third thing, then this is the perfect person for you. This person is very sensible. This person is very humble. And this person is very sound-minded. And this is somebody very, very reliable and just overall, you know, a very caring person, especially with the Six of Pentacles here. They're also somebody who is possibly has a good amount of money and wealth going on. And they are somebody, I will say, just because they, with the Seven of Swords energy, they tend to be somebody who doesn't want to, they don't want to have to date around. And I only say that because it's next to the Queen of Pentacles, so it's like almost like a reverse in a sense. And when we have that, it's kind of like saying that the Seven of Swords doesn't want to be sneaky. Like they literally just want to be, they want that time to themselves, okay? They want that peace of mind. And I've gotten this to mean like somebody has tunnel vision in a sense. It doesn't necessarily mean like I'm sneaky and I'm sneaking off. Sometimes when it's being irritated by Pentacles, it's like saying they have tunnel vision and they have eyes for like only you. Like you're the only person they see. So you have somebody, especially when we have all these Pentacles, who is so dedicated to this relationship and making things work. Especially when we have the Three of Pentacles here, it's about being dedicated to completing a goal. I will say in the beginning, this person or you guys or you, whoever, will not want to commit right away, but it doesn't have to do with them being like a player or anything like that. All it's saying is that this person will want to sort of take their time. This person, like I said, they only really see you, but they're not openly like sort of expressing that. Even though their intentions are pure and honest, it just comes off, it may come off a little bit sneaky or a little bit shady, but it's, trust me, this person's a-okay, right? One thing I do want to note is like, you guys as a couple will sort of like be spending a good amount of time at work. Like the average day for you guys is very dedicated to the task that you have at hand. And it's possible that you guys will meet through a work-like situation. I think that you guys will very much bond over, it's like you guys will bond over like very like practical like things like food, like, oh my god, I love burgers, and then this person likes burgers too, or something like my family is so you know, politically minded, all we talk about is politics, and this person's like, oh my god, my family's just like that, they just talk about politics all the time, like they can't get enough of this politics stuff. I just want to talk about like the food. But it's like saying like you guys will get along based off of like practical little things like that. That's what's really sort of bringing you guys together. Like the way you guys live your lives, the things that you have in common are pretty solid, okay? It's just a solid base, especially when it's like, okay, I go to the gym 3 times a week, and you're like, oh man, I go to the gym 3 times a week too. Like we should go to the gym together. Or I like to practice yoga. You like to practice yoga? That's cool. Let's do this together. Like you have a lot of shared interests is basically what I'm saying. So as a couple, there'll be a lot of time spent together involving your shared interests. It's really focusing on you guys as a couple, and it's kind of like saying that you guys will sort of like go away from all your like friends and family and stuff when you guys come together. Like like when you guys get together, you'll spend a lot of time just with each other, okay? Some couples are the type of couples who will, you know, still be with friends and hang out and whatever, but you guys are the type of couple to, honestly, you will spend most of your time with each other, okay? I just want to make that clear. If you guys aren't together, then you guys are like, I'm at work, and then, you know, occasionally you guys will see friends and stuff, but for the most part, you guys are spending a lot of time together. It's like with these cards, it's weird. Like you guys, not weird. It's different because you guys have, you guys don't have any like fire, and you guys don't have any water in your chart. And when we have that, it's like, what's bringing you together is not like a strong sexual connection, and it's not a strong, I don't want to say it's not emotional, but it's like saying that it's more like the way that you guys live your lives are so similar, and it fits so well. And not only that, but you guys have the same sort of goals. A few people were like motivated. I want to say I think pile number 1 and pile number 2 were similarly like motivating each other. You guys don't really need to motivate each other. You guys are already motivated, but I will say the difference between them is like you guys will literally sort of have like very, very, very similar goals. Like if you have a goal to like have 2 kids, and this person has the same goal. If you have a goal to like be the president of the United States, then maybe this person wants to be the first man or first lady, okay, like that. It's like very similar ambitions and life directions, and that is what's really bringing you guys together as a couple. And not only that, it's like saying how this person will treat you is they're very generous toward you. And when we have the Queen of Swords here, like I said, it's near Queen of Pentacles next to the Seven of Swords. This person can be almost overly generous. Like you both might be overly generous to the point where you guys may neglect your own needs for each other. Like if you felt like your partner needed something and you also needed something, you will be like, oh, well, I'm going to take care of what my partner needs first. So that is the difference about like the Queen of Swords being a little bit irritated. Normally she takes care of herself first, then other people, like the air things and airplanes. You know how when the air things, what are they called? Those masks? Gosh, why does my brain do that? It always blanks. You know how the mask comes down on the planes and they say put it on before you put it on like your kids or something like that? That's the Queen of Pentacles sort of like upright by herself. But when she is like this way around, it's like saying she's putting the mask on her children before she puts it on herself. And that's what you guys are sort of doing. You're taking care of each other's needs before you take care of your own. And I'm not giving any judgments. I'm not saying whether that's bad or good. I'm just throwing it out there on what the relationship will sort of be like, okay? And it's very predictable since a relationship, which is funny because when I wrote this down, I wrote down Rahu, and Rahu is a sign placement to have to do with unpredictability. So it's weird because as your reputation as a couple, it's like people can't like sort of understand you. Like you guys throw people off guard. You guys come off like you're maybe either luxurious, because Rahu can be like a very material planet, or not planet, a very material astrological point. I think it's an astrological point. I think that's what you call it. It's not like a moon or anything, but it's like a very material astrological phenomenon. And we have a lot of material things here. So you guys may have like this reputation as a couple to be very luxurious, or maybe like you guys have a lot of money or a lot of wealth or a lot of luxury going around, which makes sense with the Six of Pentacles here, because that's about giving to sort of charity. And it's possible like as a couple that you guys will sort of give to charity, like, you know, Meg and Prince Harry, or Meghan and Prince Harry. I think that's her name. All right. Am I just making up her name? Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. But yeah, it's like saying you guys have that reputation towards being giving and giving to others and having a lot of material things to give. And not only that, but Rahu also, like I said, has this sense of unpredictability about it. Like, so people just are not sure what's going to be like happening next. Like they're like, okay, last week you guys were, you know, hanging out at the park, having a picnic. 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, you guys are pregnant and getting married. And so for other people looking on the outside, they're like, I don't understand, like, these people just seem like we can't like ever understand what's going on in this relationship. Like they seem so out there, they seem so different, they seem so unusual, but really in the reality of your relationship, you guys pretty much do the same things like over and over again. Like you guys really aren't that unusual. Like you guys are just kind of like, okay, well, let's go to work, let's get things done, let's give it a charity, let's concentrate on our goals, let's be together, spend time together, eat, you know, go out to restaurants. I do want to say like you guys will definitely be like going out to eat quite a bit, okay? So I just want to throw that out there. And you know, especially with the Three of Pentacles here, sometimes I get this card to represent sort of like being in a very social like environment, which would be like bars, restaurants, and stuff like that. Especially I mentioned that because when we have pentacles and stuff, we do have an element of food and consumption going on. So it's like saying that you guys were sort of doing like the same like basic sort of things like most of the time, but other people just, maybe you just come off like really quirky and unusual to them. Because sometimes when you are super like predictable, like you go to work, you go home, people tend to be like, oh my god, this person is so mysterious, like, you know what I mean, like I don't know what they do with their free time, when really they're not doing anything, they're just going to work and they're going home, right? It happens sometimes. Oh my god, trust me, especially when I get the Seven of Swords. Oh my gosh, I get this card like all the time because I'm more of a quiet person, so I want to give you my experience, and not only that, but I get it for other people too. And it's usually when other people are not around, or when other people are very private, and when other people like keep to themselves, this card sort of comes up. Let's see if this thing is like showing the full picture. This card like comes up to sort of represent a lot of people feeling like this person has like this element of mystery about them, or something that they just can't put their finger on, and they become very curious about what they're up to, what they're doing, because this person is this lone wolf energy. So it's because you guys are moving away from everyone that people are like, what's going on there? Like they're like casting out this, it's like you guys are putting yourselves in the shadow, and so now people will become more curious, okay? And it's not like you guys are, like I said, you guys aren't doing anything that's bizarre or unusual. You're just living normal lives, but people will think that you guys are such a unique sense, couple in a sense. And like I said, this person will be very generous and kind towards you. This person is something someone you can rely on, and it's like you're, like I said, the daily things is like a lot of working, a lot of you know, cooking for each other, doing the laundry, moving in. And like I said, you guys, not like I said, but what I'm about to say, you guys will be sort of dating for a minute. I do want to say that just because we have so many pentacles, and pentacles are the slowest moving element in the deck. Trust me, I know. It can be very slow pace. So you guys might be dating for a few years before you get married, but when you do, it's going to be beautiful. And that is what I have for you, pile number 3. I'm going to move on, and I'll see you next time. Au revoir. If you've chosen pile number 4, let's get started on your reading on what dating your future spouse will be like. We have the 3 of Coins, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Ace of Swords, and we have the 6 of Swords. So I pulled this little sheet to sort of represent the reputation of your relationship overall, like how other people sort of like perceive you guys to be. And I'll get to that in a moment. But let's pick up on let's see what we can pick up on is what I'm trying to say. So, how will you guys spend your time together? Looks like a lot of the time you guys will have a good amount of responsibilities to take care of. So I'm not gonna lie, it's like you guys won't get to spend as much time as you would like together. There's just gonna be some circumstances that require your attention, and I was gonna speak on this later, but it's like calling out to me with the Pluto energy. A lot of times Pluto can be like, give a lot of like turmoil situations, a lot of sudden situations, a lot of situations where it involves a lot of transformation and time into, just because Pluto is a transformative planet. So it represents, especially when we have these 10 of Wands here, it's like saying you're getting to the point where you can no longer hold on to, in Pluto's case, it would be like the same psychological makeup that you have, the same belief system that you have, the same perspective that you have in life, and you're letting it go. So something about this relationship will sort of break that previous perspective that you had on maybe work, life, family, friends, day-to-day activities, health, your goals. Something about this relationship will allow you to sort of shed that ideal and come to a different system of thought, especially when we have the Ace of Swords here representing that. So this relationship, what it's doing, it's bringing about a change in perspective. So while you guys are dating, it's like you guys are growing as people, and you're changing and transforming and changing your perspective on things. When we get Pluto to sort of represent your reputation, I do also want to say with the Ten of Wands energy, I get Ten of Wands to represent a strong sexual desire. So a lot of people will see that you guys very much desire each other. And you could do with that information what you want, right? So that's just very blatantly and obvious to most people that you guys have a lot of chemistry together, okay? With the Three of Coins here, we do have that you guys are willing to work with each other, even though you guys have hectic schedules, even though it will seem like it's like one thing coming up after the other, whether it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a flat tire, I can't come see you, or it's like, oh, there's a wedding and gosh, we were going on a date, but then that happened, and then another circumstance pops up where somebody gets a job opportunity, now they have to move, and oh my gosh, and now this person is like, you know, in the hospital, and this, that, and the other. Like, it'll seem like your relationship just has a lot of sudden things like going on, okay? It's just a lot of movement, all right? I just want to throw that out there for you guys. How this person will overall treat you though, however, it's like they'll treat you in a sense where you guys will be doing a lot of sharing and coming up with new ideas and inspiring each other. So this is almost like, it's like how you would treat a friend in a sense. Like, you guys have very like friend energy. So I get the feeling that you guys will be not just sort of like lovers, but friends as well. So they'll treat you like a friend. Obviously that you are not this person's friend, but they'll sort of treat you like that in the regards that you guys are like having a lot of silly like banter with each other, having a lot of like fun, playful energy that you may have like with friends, just a lot of like overall silliness going on, especially when we have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is just like that energy that's like icebreaker energy, that would you rather energy, you know, would you rather, you know, be a penguin or a beaver? Like, that's a dumb question. I could have thought of a better would you rather, but but like they come with like this very playful like energy. So that's pretty much how this person will sort of overall treat you, other than with the sort of sexual element going on here, very intense sort of focus on each other. I do want to say that you guys, it's interesting, like you guys will maybe feel like, it's not even like pressure, but it just may feel like when you guys get to the point where you're getting engaged, it may feel like you guys need to do so in order to move this relationship along. For you guys, it'll feel like you'll definitely talk about it. It won't just be like one person proposes and you guys never spoke about it. You'll definitely speak about it, and it'll seem like the most practical and logical step to take. I only say practical and logical because you have so much sword and pentacle energy. It's not like there are any cups involved in this. Though Pluto, I think Pluto is more associated with, it's associated with Scorpio, so there is a little bit of a water element energy, especially when it comes to your reputation. But like when it comes to like actually sort of getting married, for you guys, you'll be like, it doesn't even make sense for us not to be married. Like you guys will both come to that conclusion on its own. I mean, I wish I could say it was like super romantic, and I'm sure maybe the proposal itself will be really romantic, but the reasons that you guys decide to take that next step is because you kind of feel like that it's just something that you guys need to do in order to like really solidify your relationship in a sense. And not only that, but I kind of feel like for some of you, not all of you, for some of you, you'll be put in a circumstance where you guys have to be getting married. Like, let's say you have a partner and this partner has to move to a different country and you're like, okay, the only way I can move with them is if I like, and be able to stay with them for a long period is if we got married or something like that. Or like they have to, let's say they were from a different country and then they have to move back to their home country and you're like, okay, well now I have to get married to them. So it's like some of you will be placed in circumstances that aren't ideal, which will kind of put you to marry that person. And like I said, I know a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people from my channel are from India, so I know they have arranged marriages in India. I don't know all the circumstances on arranged marriages and etc., but I do want to say that this will seem like there's a lot of pressure into getting you guys married, which you don't have to be in an arranged marriage for that. In America, there's a lot of pressure for people to get married as well. But in particular, if this is a arranged situation, it'll feel like that you guys are just like had to get married in a sense, or like that, like there's just a lot of push towards getting married. Okay, I just want to throw that out there for some of you. It's not all of you, but some of you it will be that sort of like situation like that. But overall, like I said, this person will kind of like, this person will like come into your life and really change your perspective on things and will change your outlook to something more positive. Okay, I don't know if you've had a lot of negative thoughts, or if you've been like very anxious, or you've been very stressed. This person will kind of like give you a different perspective in order to lift that burden. It's like they're there to sort of be like this support system for you. Like they're there to sort of bring in a sense of calm and relaxation, or optimism in a sense, and a lot of optimism and a lot of energy being thrown towards that. I do want to say, like, as a couple, it does seem that like you guys will, it's interesting because I can't get like a feel if you guys will be like super social or not, or I mean, what I get is there is this equal combination of financial benefit. I get that, meaning like if you guys were going to date, you guys would go Dutch. So a lot of going like Dutch in this relationship, like he pays, she pays, she pays, she pays, he pays, he pays, you know, stuff like that. Like you both are like contributing financially on that level. You both are contributing the same sort of amount of energy. Like if you guys live together, or like before you get married, then it's like you both will be like contributing to house chores. You'll both be contributing to like, you know, any sort of responsibilities to deal with in the home, even when there's a lot of responsibilities. Okay, but this person is really going to uplift your anxiety and pressure. Throughout the sort of dating period, there will be, like I said, an intense, more sexual attraction. I'm not going to get too into detail, but just know that area will be popping off. Like the like really you guys will be really active in that area. So I do want to say that. So throughout the dating period, that's like a thing that's going to be very prevalent. And I think it's just like you just have a lot, like you guys will have a lot of chemistry in a sense. Okay, and I think that this also, you guys will sort of pick up, if not new hobbies, then it's like saying that you guys will be able to travel more. So when you guys are dating, there's a sense of like you guys are going to be able to go to different places, do different things, travel a lot. So the whole dating period with your spouse is going to involve you guys being introduced to a lot of new people in your lives, to a lot of different ideals, to being introduced to a lot of different group settings and in networking. I do get the strong feeling that during this dating period, somebody's going to change their job. I don't know why, but that was like one of the first things that I thought of. It was like a change in work pace. Something about you guys coming together is going to involve somebody having to change their job, and that job's going to be in a different location for some of you, not all of you, but it's just going to involve that, okay? It's just a huge transformation. This relationship is so transformative and so deep and so like connected. I don't know how else to explain that sort of feeling that you get. It's like this strong fire energy, and I think I wrote down some stuff because I write down stuff sometimes before reading. And what I wrote down was, it's like a song that was like, what is it? All My Life. I think it's Casey and JoJo. So it's like you finally got this person that you have been waiting for, it seems like for eternity. And they've come to like sort of pretty much change your whole life and change the game and like bring about this new positive energy and perspective into you, and they've kind of opened up and broadened your world. So that's what like pretty much dating your spouse is going to be like. It's going to be huge, okay? I feel like you're going to get a lot of new friends throughout this relationship. Like you guys are going to join some groups together. I don't know what it is that you're doing. Maybe you guys are both into racing cars, so you guys decide to join some car racing group or whatever, or like you both decide that you guys are really into animals, and you guys decide you want to go to like different charity events involving like animals and helping with animal rights and stuff like that. But whatever it is, it's like you guys will sort of like join this group together, or join maybe an online forum together, or like be a part of some sort of community together. And like I said, I feel like there's new people coming in, and it's like not like new people trying to break you up energy. It's like new people, like we've joined this group together and we sort of made these friends together and we've made these connections together. But yeah, that is all I have for you, pile number 4. I'm going to move on to the next pile because we got a long way to go. Okay, if you chose pile number 5, let's get started on your reading and what dating your spouse will be like. We have the Page of Swords, the 7 of Wands, the 8 of Wands, and the High Priestess. And then I brought up a little card, little piece of paper, so to sort of give some insight on the reputation of the relationship itself. Okay, wanted to bring in some astrology into the mix because you guys know I'm AstroTarotResearch. Okay, so this is very interesting because there is a little bit of a playfulness to it, and also like this quality where I feel like you guys are going to be like getting into a lot of different debates throughout the dating process. And I only get that because we have the 7 of Wands. And when we get the 7 of Wands, the 7 of Wands is about defending their position. It's this very, I'm not gonna lie, it's an aggressive sort of energy having to do with stating your opinion or your thoughts, or not even just that. It could literally be physically active, but for me it's personally shown up in different readings, etc., of people sort of battling their own thoughts, ideas, egos, opinions, based off of their sort of life experiences, okay? Very similar to the 9 of Wands, except for I feel like the 7 of Wands exerts more energy because, you know, the 9 of Wands already has that focus and they're kind of a little bit tired, right? So you guys will have so much energy going towards each other. There is a lot of passion within this relationship. Like I said, there does seem to be like this sort of banter going on, whether that is actual arguments or whether that's like more just like you guys are just debating each other. It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, I know that happens with couples sometimes. Sometimes couples end up fighting a lot and then it kind of slows down and they stop fighting so much, and it's like, okay, well, whatever. We don't have to be fighting all the time. And they adjust, right? So this is like you guys saying that you guys will off the back have like this fire sort of being pushed your way, which is funny because Venus is the hottest planet, I believe. So it's not really shocking because you know what people say when somebody's very like attractive, they're like, oh, that person's so hot, right? And Venus happens to rule attraction, right? So it's kind of like saying there is a lot of attraction, but there's also a lot of like arguments, and not like, maybe like I said, it doesn't have to be arguments. It could just be like debates and sharing ideas and stuff like that. So there's both things going on. You guys might be that couple that like gets in a fight and then like, you know, goes off to the bedroom or something like that. But but that is that. I just want to throw that energy out there because that's like the main thing that's coming up for you guys. how this person will personally treat you, besides like sort of debating back and forth, it's kind of like this person will want to push you to go forward. When we have the Eight of Wands here, we have somebody who's just like throwing out a lot of energy, ideas, and everything at once, okay? This is like momentum, moving forward, speed, okay? So this person is going to try to sort of get married and engaged as quickly as possible. This is probably going to be one of the shortest engagements that I've seen so far. I mean, we're not at the other piles yet. We still got 2 more, but this is a very quick dating progress, okay? Especially with the Page of Swords here. Page of Swords is a very young energy, and young people tend to sort of think in a very, they don't take in all the different perspectives, because how could they? They're so young. There's a lot they don't know, and because of that, they may be like more prone to like jump into a marriage because they may have a more naive outlook on it. Not saying that won't work out for you, but I'm just saying that this is probably one of the reasons that you guys may get married a little bit faster, because you guys will be hit with such passion towards each other, with such focus towards each other, that you guys will feel just that inspired, that chemistry, that love towards each other, and you're like, okay, well, we got to get married. We just got to get married. You've got to be the one. And I mean, if you guys get married, then possibly, I mean, it's possibly, it'll probably last forever. I don't know. But that's not this reading, right? So this reading is just the dating period for your spouse. But it's like saying you guys will pretty much have a short engagement, and you will propel each other forward, and there'll be a lot of just like excitement going on, okay? When we have the High Priestess here, we have you guys sort of being very private and secretive. I think that some of you, if you've chosen this pal, you may be even prone to sort of elope in a sense. That is just a very small few of you, but I just wanted to throw that out there for some people, because the High Priestess represents sort of secrecy and mystery, and like, I don't really know this person, and da 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 da. But it's just like saying that you guys will sort of be a little bit more private when it comes to your relationship. You don't want a lot of people in your business, and you're not going to sort of like be the type of couple to have like couples dates and to go off and just be like, what am I trying to say? Like, to be like, you guys just don't want a lot of people in your business. You just don't want a lot of different inputs, because when we have this Eight of Wands energy, it can be like a lot of people have a lot to say on your relationship, especially in the beginning, especially with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords can be a little bit gossipy. So I kind of feel like in the beginning, a lot of people will be giving a lot of different opinions on your relationship and things going on, and then you guys will choose to sort of keep things private. I think that's what's going to be happening for some of you, not all of you. For another part of you, it's kind of like saying that you'll just kind of be hit with this wave of inspiration, and you guys will grow a very strong spiritual connection, not only with physical attraction, not only mentally, but spiritually. You guys will be very, very connected, and it'll just seem like, whoa, where is this coming from? Like, how are me and this person so compatible? Like, this is insane. Like, you'll just feel like that energy very strongly. Honestly, this person is coming in to sort of change your life in a way that is like developing you spiritually as a person, okay? They are coming through to sort of give you a higher perspective. They're here to sort of complement, be like the yin to your yang. They're like this very divine energy, whether it's like, I don't know too much about divine and feminine, divine masculine, but I do know that this is just a very sort of divine-like energy coming in and coming together and feeling connected. And I know the High Priestess is associated with the moon, because there is this element of changing, emotions, connections, feeling intuitive about something. So it's like when you guys come together, like for some reason this person will sort of help trigger and strengthen your intuition. And not only that, but this person will sort of like, gosh, I don't even know. It's like balance you out in a sense. They give you some sort of mental peace, as well as like they might get on your nerves some days, not gonna lie, but it's like overall there's a strong sense of happiness and being very content and feeling like, yes, this is the place I want to be. I can lie still, because that's what the High Priestess does. Okay. So like I said, you guys don't want a whole bunch of people in your business. You have this sort of reputation for being a very beautiful couple, especially with Venus energy here. And if it's not beautiful, what I've noticed is Venus energy can sort of bring that reputation for being very friendly and being very sweet and being very like kind and open. Venus is like that polite energy, well-mannered, reaches out, wants to get to know people. Venus is very, very highly sociable. I mean, just look at the sign of Libra. And Venus doesn't like to sort of upset people, so they'll play the fence in a sense. They won't really try to give, they're not the type to just blatantly give their full opinion on something, especially Libras. I know so many Libras, and they are the king and queens of playing the fence, okay? So it's like saying that you guys aren't trying, you guys are like that couple that sort of gets along with everyone. The kind of people that people don't mind sort of like introducing to other people. People aren't looking at you like you're side-eyed. They're not looking at, oh, those people are kind of weird or funky, or those people are a little bit strange. No, you guys are very presentable. You come off very lovely. You come off very inviting. A lot of people will probably want to invite you out to social events, especially with these 8 of Wands here. Just people will just see that you guys are like, they'll see you as somebody they want to have at the party, because you guys get things going in a sense. Whether that is like the way you guys talk to each other, the things you talk about, the topics that you cover. People just want to get involved, and they just want to enter themselves into your conversations, and they feel like that you guys are just a good energy overall to have around. And right off the bat, like I said, when we have Venus sort of in like this upper high position, it's kind of like saying that right off the bat that you guys are aiming towards that relationship, that you're both taking this very seriously. Even if it seems like you guys may not know a lot about each other, or you guys may not checked out all the boxes of like what's your family like, what's your childhood like, da da da. You guys are like, okay, no, I definitely want to be with this person. I just feel it. I just know it. This is what I am. This is who I am. Okay. And I wrote down a little bit something. I wrote down like confidence and speaking like from your soul and from your heart. So when we have this 7 of Wands and this 8 of Wands energy, Wands too do sort of represent confidence, okay? So this relationship will bring about like this sudden, swift change of confidence within both of you. I'm not sure quite why. I mean, it's not very clear. I think it just has to do with the fact that you guys are sort of shaping your own ideas and thoughts, and that's bringing about confidence because you're getting to know yourselves. So that can tend to bring about confidence in people, as well as sort of isolating yourself away from the opinions of others, so that you can sort of build that foundation and grow strong and be like, okay, if someone questions me on like why I want to get married so fast, I can give them these reasons and responses and da 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 da, and feel confident within what I need to say and how I need to get my point across, right? So that is what's happening to you guys in this relationship. Overall, like I said, this person is treating you with a lot of awe, and I say awe because like they look at you in a sense like that you're like this mystery, like you're this like gift that they unwrap and sort of learn about more and more each day, especially with this Page of Swords. There's this sense of curiosity, and that's how this person's treating you throughout the sort of like dating period, and they feel like they learn a little bit more about you each day, whether that's good or bad. They don't care. It's just like they're happy to sort of be there, and they feel like the more they learn about you, the more they feel connected toward you, is what I'm mainly getting from this reading. And that is all I have for you, pile number 5. I hope this resonates with you, and I hope that you'll be back next week for another reading. All right, pile number 6, let's get started on your reading on what dating your future spouse will be like. We have the King of Swords. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the 5 of Cups. And we have the World card, and then I pulled a little piece of paper to sort of embody the reputation you guys will have like as a couple. So let's pull this down a little bit so we can see everything. So this is interesting. With the King of Swords here, we have somebody who's very communicative and is willing to have those hard discussions, easy discussions, whatever it is. The King of Swords is sort of here to analyze and try to look beyond the surface, or at least they're using their intellect to push the relationship forward, or push in this circumstances in general they're looking to push their agenda forward, but in this case it would be like push the relationship forward and make sure things are going the way they need to go. So right away I do want to mention I do see a potential rockiness. Okay, now I only mention that because we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Five of Cups, and we have K2 here. And K2 is this very energy that is so disruptive and raw, okay? It's disruptive and raw, and it's chaotic, and it's like you don't know what you're getting, okay? It's this energy where it just sort of takes everything and rips it from you, all right? So I'm not gonna lie, it does seem like maybe in the beginning of the relationship, the early stages, you guys may be like one of those people who are like on again, off again. And if this does not resonate with you, then, you know, it doesn't resonate, and we can, you know, choose another pile here for you. If this doesn't resonate, then you can feel free to choose a different pile, or I can give my second interpretation, which I would do now. If this isn't like on and off again, then what this is saying that is like things will just be a little bit rocky, okay? If not rocky, then it's like saying that you guys will go through some crazy times together. So if you guys aren't like having that on again, off again relationship, then it's saying that you guys as a couple will experience some crazy stuff. It's gonna be like this time where you're like, what in the world is even going on here? Like, it's going to feel like maybe the world is either against you, or like maybe you guys aren't compatible sometimes, and then other times you are. Like I said, there's two different scenarios, and if neither ones make sense for you, then, you know, choose the other pile. But let's continue. All right, so how this person is going to treat you is, in a way, I've gotten the Five of Cups for someone to sort of treat them like they want something like more from them that they're not getting. Like I said, this could be this. I'm pretty sure this is early stages. So it's possible that you guys are on two different levels. Like, let's say you have one person, they meet the person, they're like, I know this person's the one. I gotta marry this person. I want to be with this person forever. Then you meet the one person who is very King of Swords, and they may be a little bit more cautious. They may think about things from different perspectives and different angles. They want to consider everything that is to take into account, and they don't want to rush things, okay? They're like, I don't know if moving things along so quickly is the right thing to do, especially with the World card. I was just explaining that to pile number one, that when we get the World card here, we have Saturn, which represents things being slow. But when we have the Wheel of Fortune here, we represent Jupiter, which is an energy that is actually an enemy to Saturn. Like, Saturn and Jupiter don't get along, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being representing things going fast, okay? So we just think about it, it takes like 365 days for the world to completely sort of like turn, right? To go around the sun and stuff. So it's like saying that one person, I have a feeling one person is going to want things to move really quickly, and the other person is not going to want that. And so that's going to lead to a little bit of a disappointment where it feels like they want something more and they're not getting it. So I think, I don't know who's who and who's doing what, but it's just saying that that's going to be the case, which is going to sort of bring that sort of like that K2 energy where you're like, one day it feels like You guys are super, super, super in love, and the other day it's just like, you're spending that time apart. You're a little bit sad. You're a little bit like disappointed in someone's behavior, a little bit quiet, a little bit more to yourself, a little bit more reserved and like coming in. And fives, you guys in general represent conflict. So I do want to put that out there for you. So I think it's just a conflict in like the emotional speed, the emotional attachment of relationship. Like I said, some people get attached quicker than others, right? Some people fall quicker. So I do want to throw that out there. I'm not trying to be all gloom and doom, so let's move on, right? So let's get to the stages where things are actually going well. We have the World card here. So when you guys finally sort of decide that you guys are on the same page regarding whatever it is, it's like saying you guys will feel so complete. It's going to feel like there's nothing that's stopping you guys from moving forward and conquering things. And we have this Jupiter and Saturn energy. It's like someone takes the time to really sort of develop their mind, okay? They develop their skills. They develop their thoughts, their beliefs. They really hone in what it is that they are desiring and what it is that they're trying to put out there in the world. So when we have this sort of in a relationship, it's like saying that we have two people who are saying, you know what, I have never really thought, like let's say you had two people, maybe one's Republican and one's Democrat, and they're coming together. And now they're sharing ideas and they're like, you know what, I've never really thought of things from that perspective. Thank you for your ideas and giving me this other perspective, okay? And then it also can sort of be like, it doesn't have to be that specific circumstances. It can literally be from anything from like clothing to laundry to how somebody makes cornbread or something like that. It's literally just the smallest things when it comes to Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter and Saturn are really just about being able to have an optimistic outlook on what you can do in this world. I mean, there is some sort of pessimism when it comes to Saturn influencing Jupiter, but Saturn in general represents hard work, patience, dedication. And when Jupiter's aspecting it, when it's like sort of making this sort of opposition to it, it's saying never give up. Keep putting in that hard work, and it's being very encouraging. And then Saturn's like, but what if it doesn't work out? But what if it doesn't work out? And Jupiter's like, well, we'll find a different way. We'll find a different direction. Okay. So that, I think, is what's really the sort of draw that's bringing you guys together, is because you guys are able to understand that even though you guys have these crazy times, these unpredictable moments, these places where you guys are in rough places or something like that, that you guys are like, well, let's just keep working at it. Let's keep moving forward. Like, you guys understand that everything's not going to click and go together. You're the type of couple that would be willing to go to like couples counseling and everything like that. What I see this person sort of bringing into your life is monumental change. And you guys are bringing this into both each other's lives and throughout the dating period, which is why you have this 5 energy, because 5s represent change, and change represent, you know, conflict. If you think about even the Wheel of Fortune kind of adds up to 2 5s. I mean, it could also be like a 7 and a 3, but whatever. I just think of, whenever I think of 10, I think of 2 5s, and I think it's just because it's even, you divide it by 2, whatever. But if you just think about change in general, it's just saying change. With change comes a lot of conflict. It comes a lot of stress. It comes a lot of tension. If you think about how a novel is written, you have this beginning where you have the circumstances, and let's say we're setting up the life of some teenager in high school, and then we're hit with the conflict, right? We're hit with a, oh my God, I need to find a date to the prom. That's the conflict in this imaginary novel. And then we go about trying to find this date to the prom, and things get like crazy, and you go through all these scenarios, and maybe you have this friend who wants to date them, and then you have the person you have the crush on, and it gets complicated, right? But it's through those complications and it's through those actions that we are able to have momentum and that we are able to push forward. So don't think and look at this and be like, oh great, like I'm gonna have somebody I don't get along with. I'm gonna have somebody I'm fighting with. I'm not gonna have somebody who understands me. It's not any of that. Like, you're going to have an amazing partner. You're probably going to have one of the best partners out of all the piles we've just picked here, okay? And I only say that because we just have someone who is propelling you to make yourself a better person, to bring about crazy changes in your life, to transform your entire destiny. And especially when we have the Wheel of Fortune and K2 here, it does seem like there's this strong link to maybe like a past life connection. So when we have somebody who is challenging you, someone who is pushing you, someone who is making you step out of your box, yeah, there's going to be some rockiness to that, okay? It's usually not a smooth transition to get to, you know, your prom date, in the sense, like when this circumstance I gave, right? It's like saying but you will get there, because we have the World card in the end, which represents like having a healthy, beautiful relationship. And as I was saying with pile number 1, I was just looking up the World card this weekend, because if you follow me, you know I like to do like sort of meditations on cards and just think about them and stuff every now and then. And when we have the World card, we have someone who just literally thinks the world of you. They think that you are the most wonderful person. They cannot picture their life without you. They're just like, I don't want you out of my life. I don't see my life being, you know, picture perfect if you are not in it. So you have somebody who really cares and feels strongly and deeply towards you. And it just feels like that it's just, I don't even know, so incredible. Okay, so before I started this reading, I always write down, not always, but sometimes I write down little things. And for pile number 6, I wrote down, hold on, so I need to show you guys this. I wrote down this one thing, and it was like a song that came to me, and it was like, I don't even know if you can see it. Is it focusing? The song is Change Clothes by Jay-Z. Or is it Change Clothes, Plans to Go, whatever, you know what I mean? All I wanna do, da, 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 you know that song, that old song? So it's so funny because I was going on about change, and I wrote down, I think it's like a little blurb on the back of the card somewhere. I was like writing down like, oh, this relationship is going to bring about a monumental change. And not only that, but this relationship is going to bring about like the highlight. You know what I mean? With the World card, there is a sense of, what do I want to say? Being very classy. It's like saying you are part of a world that a lot of people don't have access to. Like, not saying that you'll be in the 1% financially, but you'll be in a place in your life where like maybe you're somebody who gets to go to like fashion shows, and maybe you're somebody who gets to go to like galas, like expensive galas and charity events. Because I know at least in this area, some charity events and some galas, like it's like $1,000 buy-in, $6,000 buy-in, $10,000 just for like a ticket and stuff like that. Like, it's just crazy, right? So it's like saying this sort of relationship will bring about strong good fortune, especially when we have the Wheel of Fortune here next to the World, and the World being success and the Wheel of Fortune being like, well, fortune in general. This person is going to literally change your bad luck into good luck, okay? And it's going to feel like, wow. It's going to feel like, how in the bleep did this happen? You know, it's so crazy, because I was just kind of looking up, maybe not just, but I was looking up a couple of months ago, like K2 transiting second houses and financial houses, and a lot of people said it took like sort of everything they had and made them sort of start from scratch and put them in a better financial place. Other people said it's given them like the most opportunities financially that they've ever had in their life. So I have a feeling that because we have this K2 sort of energy, it's like saying it's bringing about a lot of opportunities that you never would have even thought of, because K2 rules things that are unusual. So I do want to say, when we have K2 here representing sort of a reputation of the couple, it's like people really can't put their finger on you. For them, you guys come off very volatile, and you guys come off very like, are they together? Are they not together? Or you guys come off in a way that is just like, they do things different over there. They do things a little bit special, okay? It's like saying that from other people's perspective, you guys are very unpredictable, and you guys are very spontaneous, and you guys have just like this crazy circumstances that are going on within your relationship or outside your relationship. Maybe you guys have some, you know, crazy families. Maybe you guys are randomly switching careers, and you guys, somebody's a professional chef and somebody works as a, you know, ski instructor or lifeguard. It's like this just random, like it feels like they just don't know what's going on in that household. People are like, what is happening over there? Like they're so unusual, they're so different. Okay. And it can also represent somebody being very spiritual, or somebody very aware of like maybe underground knowledge, like aliens, you know, the Illuminati, secret government, things like, you know, tarot, astrology, things having to do with, you know, symbolism, things having to do with alchemy. Like you guys come off as very highly unusual, and very much a couple that goes to the beat of their own drum. But I do want to say that it is going to be like a very wonderful sort of dating experience, but it's going to blow you out the water, and it's going to feel like you guys came such a long way to get to marriage. All right. So that is all I have for you, pile number 6. Feel free to come back next week, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Last but not least, pile number 7. So let's get started on, your dating experience with your future spouse. Already seems like kind of wild. We have the 2 of Wands. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Swords. And we have the 4 of Wands. Okay. And then we have this sort of piece of paper to symbolize what's going to be happening in your relationship. What's going on there? Like, what's the deal? What's your reputation? Okay, what are people saying about you? So, wow, my brain is like getting crazy messages, right? So before I start the reading, it's not always, but sometimes I write down little things. I've been telling all the pals this. And for you guys, I wrote down the song Poison. And next to it, I wrote strong sexual desires, sexuality, attraction, right? So we have that going on for you guys. I just want to put that out there. So I will say, when it comes to this, it kind of feels like during the dating period, one partner is a little bit more of a tease, okay? I just want to throw that out there. Like, it's like one partner kind of feels like, why is this person like, you know, teasing me in a sense? It's like, I don't know if it's you or the person you're with, but somebody's not going to give it up quickly. All right, and that's what I want to get into first. So, I mean, it's the first thing that came up. So I'm guessing it's very important to your whole dating situation with dating your future spouse. It's going to feel like, man, this person is really making me work hard. So I just want to throw that information out there. Some other things that I see going on is basically there's a sense of unusualness about you guys and how you do things. It's a little bit different than maybe, so the average couple wants to have their relationship. There's a lot of independence here, okay? There's a lot of you two working separately towards your goals in a sense. And also I do want to say with the 5 of Swords here, this relationship will bring about a lot of change. And I do want to say sometimes I get 5s to represent a little bit of bickering. So it could possibly be like early on, there's a little bit of bickering going on in the relationship, but we do have 4 of Wands as the last card. So we know it's going to be like a happy home, happy situation. One thing I do want to say is, more so than any other pile, family is going to be involved, whether that's your family or their family. Something's going to happen where it's like, it feels like, I don't know, their family has a good amount of influence or on your relationship. or it's like maybe they have to spend some time with their family, but whatever it is, regardless, it's just that their family is going to have more influence on the relationship, so more so than like friends or, you know, who else ever is in the picture. Okay, it's like saying that you guys, while you're dating, will spend either a good amount of time with their family, or their family sort of like having their say or influence on your relationship while you guys are together. When we have the Five of Swords here, I do want to mention that there's possible some people who are looking onward who feel a certain way towards you guys as a couple, okay? It's either jealousy, it's either a lot of people don't like you, maybe it's possible that you seem like you have it all. Maybe you guys seem like you're very unique, different. Some people can be jealous of people's individuality. Maybe it seems like you're very successful as a couple. But whatever it is, you just get a lot of sort of jealousy in regards to this relationship here, okay? You know how people have like couples goals? It's gonna feel like maybe you guys are like goals and people are just like, you know, not having that. There's definitely some bitterness going on around you in the environment. So I do want to mention that. I also want to say that overall how this person will sort of treat you. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, there's gonna be a little bit bickering going on in the beginning, so they're kind of nag you a little bit, and that's gonna get on your nerves. But ultimately, this person is sort of like pushing you to be like more independent, and they're pushing you to, I don't know, it's like work on their own, be successful without them. It's not like they wouldn't help you out if you needed it. But it's like them saying that they would prefer you to do your own thing. And it's funny because in a way, because we have this swords and pentacle energy, it's almost like these are reversed. So with reverse, I'm not going to read this as like poverty. I know some people read this as direct opposite. For me, it's kind of like saying somebody is very independent, but they like may not want to be independent, or they kind of feel like the results, like the effort and the amount of time they're putting into something to grow it, is not adding up to, you know, the results that they're getting, okay? It kind of feels like things aren't pushing fast enough in the direction that they would like it to grow. So it kind of feels like this relationship maybe is like, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, or like, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or something like that. It's like you have to put in so much time and effort for you guys to have that strong communication. And it's funny because, like I said, it's like almost reading these things like reversed, and we have like this Five of Swords energy, which upright, it's like people are outright like betraying people and being evil and mean and like nasty towards each other. In this case, it seems unintentional. Like there's a lot of miscommunication. Like it feels like somebody may say something that rubs somebody the wrong way, and it's like they didn't have any bad intentions, but it ends up being taken that way. But let's focus on the positive, guys, because I'm sure you guys don't even want to hear about like how, you know, the rough stuff. The positive things is like dating you guys, like I said, is going to propel you forward into a very happy place, a very happy mindset. And like from the jump, I want to say that you both will have marriage in mind, even though you may not actively been like, let's marry each other, let's do this now. With the wands here, and we have the sword energy, and we also have this Jupiter energy here. Jupiter representing sort of like humor, happiness, and like almost happy-go-lucky energy. If you think about the Sagittarius energy, if you think about like Pisces energy, Pisces is a little bit more intense than Sagittarius, but there's an element of creativity to it, so that makes sense with the Two of Wands. But there is just a strong element of being an individual. Like you guys will be a sort of couple that spends a little bit more time apart than the usual average couple, which is interesting because if you know the story of like Jupiter, it's like Jupiter is so busy like helping other people and doing his own thing that he neglects his wife, which I believe is the moon or something like that, and she has like this affair with Mercury and like whatever. But basically it makes sense because you guys are having your own sort of independent lives outside of each other, and that's what's going to make this relationship really work for you guys. But when you do come together and you do manage to get that communication in order, everything's a really happy, smooth home. And like I said, with Jupiter, it represents humor, so there's a really strong sense of humor and ways that you sort of connect. But overall, what this brings as your reputation as sort of like a couple, it makes you sort of philosophical in a sense, and sort of being very opinionated and having very strong beliefs. It's like people may look to you guys as like guidance or couples, or like I said, it's like this goal energy, like, oh my gosh, they've got this all down packed. They seem like they know what they're talking about. They seem like they have all the answers, you know what I mean? Like they seem like they're in a groove. They've managed to balance that work life versus couple life, and they look like they make it look so easy. Basically, they balance family, they balance friends. Everything just seems like it's coming in order and in place. So that's what it's like, that reputation that you guys get. But like, as soon as you step into this relationship, it'll influence your life in a sense that it will motivate you to be more successful. And not only that, but like I said, it brings an element of just happiness. I don't know, this pile is so simplistic. Like, it's just so like, let's, benefit each other, and then also let's, have some fun and have some laughs. And you guys are very, like I said, you guys are very unique. And I think that there won't be a lot of time like spending with each other's friends. Like I said, it's more like family that you guys would more likely spend more time with. There is a sense of you guys really, you both really need to give each other space. There will be some jealousy, like on say from outsiders. I don't get it that it's coming from you guys. I don't see why that would be the case, but maybe some of you will attract some jealous partners. But leading up to marriage, I don't think it's going to be a super long time before you guys get married, because like I said, this is like if this were to sort of be like reversed, and the Nine of Pentacles is very like, I'm single, I'm independent, I do my own thing. If it's being like a little bit like irritated is the way I like to describe it, then it's kind of like saying, oh, I really don't want to do my own thing, like I want to share this with someone, and I still want to do my own thing, but it would be nice if there was somebody else in my garden or something like that. So it's like saying you guys aren't wasting too much time like wandering around and like getting married, okay? About getting married. So it won't be too long after you guys meet that you will get married. What will come from this relationship, I guys hope you don't mind, I'm gonna just do a little bit of a math here. Okay, so this is added up to 2. So numerology wise, like I said, it's just a really strong connection when it has to do with relationship and others, and like opening up about who you are as a person, opening up about the things that make you vulnerable, opening up about the things that have hurt you in the past in particular. Like you guys will both have things that have just both been through situations where people have really like mistreated you, and you'll both be able to sort of bond over that and connect over that. But on a daily basis, there is a sense of like, it's like a sense of creativity. Like I really get that you guys will just like be encouraging each other to be creative, be encouraging each other to push each other forward. Obviously with 5s here, like there is some competitiveness and a little bit, especially with Jupiter. Jupiter sort of rules like the Olympics and stuff like that because it's associated with Sagittarius. And obviously there's a little bit competitiveness when it comes to like you guys both wanting to, I don't know, be successful or something like that. But I just like, you guys are so interesting because this is like the most independent couple pal ever. Like you guys don't, you move as a unit, but not really. Like it's like you just both do your own things. You're not like a very clingy type of couple. You're not a couple that's like very much like mushy, and you're not very like, you're not the type that people would say, oh, they're like romantic lovebirds. but you are like very well respected, and you guys have a strong respect for one another. And you bring a lot of happiness into each other's lives. Like, you just bring a sense of, I don't know, it's like connection, fulfillment, celebration. Like, you just feel better when you are together. You feel like every day with this person is like something different, something unique, something exciting. And that's what really draws you guys together. And it kind of feels like that nobody's holding each other back. Nobody's like putting limitations on someone else. Nobody is, you know, trying to be out of line, trying to be disrespectful. Like, it's like there are some mishaps in communications at first, but like you guys bring it together in a way that's like just very respectful of one another's time, energy, and place. And you guys really take the time to sort of understand each other. And it's interesting, we got no sort of major arcana, which lets me know it's not like they bring a huge amount of change in your life. It's like they kind of just like easily, you know, like fit right in. It's just like they just come together, and it's like a really like, all right, this is not that bad of a transition. You know, like I said, maybe it's like a little rocky at first when it comes to communication, but like ultimately you guys both had good intentions towards each other. And I think that will be understood, especially when we have Jupiter about like sort of bringing about perspectives, bringing about knowledge and information. You guys will both really encourage each other to mentally grow, okay? Mentally grow. It's weird. A lot of these piles don't have too many cups in them, which is so interesting that we don't have a lot of cup energy going on. Not to say that there won't be lots of love and lots of emotions being shared, especially when we have 2 numerology wise. Twos are very sensitive. Okay, so definitely there's an intimate connection when it comes to like the 2 aspect numerology wise, which is like embodying this whole deck. But overall, if I'm thinking like, will they work a lot? Maybe, yeah, a little bit, but you guys know when to take a break, and you guys won't spend too much time around friends. Family's like probably gonna have most of the influence, being very unique and etc. A lot of patience, a lot of, you know, attraction, very strong attraction here, especially with the 2 of Wands. This to me comes off as like, the way this card is, it comes off as like frustration. Like, I feel like one partner is really frustrated in the, you know, department. It's like one partner's like, you know what I mean? Like, one partner's waiting for the other partner to give it up, but like it's gonna be a minute, but it'll happen and it'll be like great. So I don't know. It's just a very simple pile. You guys are just like, hey, we like each other and we're gonna get married, and that's that. So you guys will always have marriage in mind, so it's not gonna take long before you get married. Very happy wedding. But I do have a wedding video if you want to check that out. But overall, like I said, it's just super simplistic and beautiful. Trying to think if I've forgotten anything. In terms of activities, I do want to say that you guys will, it's not like you traditionally go out and do things, but you'll be very like active in a sense. Like, let's say you guys were like, hey, let's go to a museum, but let's go to a museum about like Play-Doh or something. So it's like you guys will go out there and you'll do things and you'll be sociable and you'll go on dates and stuff, but you're not taking the normal beaten path that people would take for dates. You're going to very different places than people would normally go. Like, maybe you guys are like, let's go to a charity event for a date. I mean, or maybe you guys are like, let's go to a pop-up bar. Let's go to what's something that's like unusual. Like, I'm trying to think of things that are a little bit out of the box. You know, it's a little bit too out of the box. Let's go to a film festival for a date or something like that. Or let's go to a film marathon, and, you know, let's go to if somebody's hosting like a comedy show or something like that, and let's do amateur night. Like, it's just like you guys will try to pick things that are like cater to your own sort of unique flavors and personalities, and you're not trying to just do something that's, you know, cool because it's like the place to go that's happening, that's like the new whatever hit spot, that's like very trendy. Like, you guys aren't really doing trendy stuff. You're doing things that are specific to you, and like I said, you guys will go out a lot, but it's not really going to break the bank in a sense. You guys are just a very successful couple. If you're thinking in terms of like wealth and finances, I would definitely consider this to be a wealthy pal, but it's really more so a prosperity of the mind than anything, because what I've noticed with Jupiter is more so abundance of spirit. It's abundance of love. It's abundance of mind. It's abundance of intellect. It's just a vibration that is connected to spiritual and intellectual fulfillment. So in that sense, it's connected to happiness, which is why you guys will feel the need to be happy. And also, you guys will definitely be like I said, there is an element of going to like parties and stuff and going out, but it's mainly like to have to do centered around family events, or at least very, very, very close and intimate friends. So that is all I have for you, pile number 7. And we are just going to end this. It has been an amazing ride. I did not mean for these readings to get so long, but I get caught up sometimes, and I will see you next week, next time. Au revoir.